Welcome to Second Edition. I'm Logan Thompson.
And I'm Sasha Pitchermala. Today on Second Edition, we have information about Edmonton's 2024 construction wrap-up.
And we'll take a look at the Edmonton Valley Zoo's annual Light Festival.
But first, a new initiative on campus aimed at creating a safe and inclusive community. NAIT launched a campaign this month to raise awareness for gender-based and sexual violence.
NAIT is for everyone.
This is NAIT's first campaign made to raise awareness for gender-based and sexual violence to create a safe and inclusive community at NAIT. The campaign aims to address gender-based and sexual violence through education, support, and accountability.
So just understanding that gender-based and sexual violence happened when we surveyed students over a year and a half ago, over 60% of students had already experienced it before they even came to NAIT. So we know students are survivors.
Scanning the QR codes found on the posters or shirts found around NAIT will take students to resources online where they can report incidents and find out how they can help make a safer campus.
It's the season that never truly ends, construction season. But if you're a motorist in Edmonton, you're going to get a bit of a break.
As we mark the end of Edmonton's 2024 construction season.
Mayor Sohi and other city officials announced their construction wrap-up for 2024 on Friday. Over the course of the past year, the city oversaw more than 220 projects, with almost 40 of those relating to transportation. City councillors said they have noted the public's concerns over the delays and disruptions, but they still have plans for major projects moving forward.
I understand the frustration, but we also need to build and rebuild, continue to invest in our infrastructure. Otherwise, our infrastructure will deteriorate.
City councillors say Yellowhead Trail will still be a major focus while moving into the 2025 construction season. Other notable projects the city are continuing to address are the efforts on the Valley Line LRT extension and Stage 3 of the Anthony Henday Drive project beginning in spring of next year.
The City of Edmonton is hosting the Hear Our Voices, Michelle People and Residential Schools exhibit in City Hall.
Almost.
The exhibit tells the stories of 29 residential school survivors. The stories are told by people directly affected by residential schools and intergenerational survivors who still feel the impact. It gives people a chance to learn about the challenges and traumas experienced by Indigenous people because of residential schools.
So the exhibit's going to offer, these are the heartfelt words of our survivors.
The exhibit is open from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Monday to Friday and from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday. It will be open until March of 2025 for anyone to hear these stories.
The Edmonton Valley Zoo is alive and alight with this year's Zoominescence Festival.
Thank you very much for coming down, and we hope everybody comes down and visits us.
This year is the Edmonton Valley Zoo's 12th annual event. It originally started as a way to encourage Edmonton's public to make a trip to the zoo during the cold winter months, but it has quickly developed into a tradition for many locals.
It's beautiful. So it's really nice for us to be able to bring down about another 30,000 people in a month that normally isn't, and to provide something really fun for people to do over the holidays.
Zoominescence features 125 individual light installations. Zoo officials also say the public should be on the lookout for the 6 animal light pieces pertaining to this year's theme of conservation success stories.
After the break, expert advice for students on how to make sure you're looking after yourself during the holidays.
Plus, we're going to look at some unconventional movies to add to your Christmas watch list.
As the fall semester is coming to a close, NAIT is reminding students to make sure they are taking care of themselves.
With the busyness of the final projects, exams, and holiday stress, it can be a time when students neglect their health. Ariana Alfaro sat down with a specialist to discuss the importance of being kind to oneself.
As winter approaches fast and our academic year is almost done, we push ourselves to improve, achieve more, and grow. Yet, how can we look after ourselves in the midst of all of this? So today, we're having his thoughts about self-care empowerment. So, you're gonna having the self-care towards a community care event. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. It's the theme for December, and at the center here, the Community Resource Center here, that's our team, Self-Care is Empowerment.
Okay, so my first question is, how does self-care support individual development and self-discovery?
In answering your question, I think there's several ways, many ways, and some of the basic ones will include taking care of yourself through things like exercise, eating properly, sleeping properly, paying attention to your mental health, which is something most people do not really talk about. Well, hopefully, as we grow as a community, we begin to talk about it. Emotional awareness, right?
Yeah.
Tuning into your emotions, finding out what works best for you. How do you feel balanced? How do you feel happy? Research has shown that you need about 7 to 9 hours of sleep to actually function properly, right? And pursue whatever hobby you have,
Yeah.
whatever makes you relax properly. And finally, we need to know how to set boundaries.
In what ways does social empowerment help people in developing resilience, especially when dealing with stress or mental health illness?
Maybe I'll just talk about 2 things. The first one is building support network, and that's one thing we do in this center as well. We try as much as possible to let people know that there are networks around campus or even around communities that provide emotional support, provide practical assistance, and a sense of belonging for everybody, right? Knowing that you can rely on someone as well, and also taking away the feelings of isolation and stress from you.
Thank you for having me today. I appreciate it, and thank you for the helpful information for our community. So again, guys, don't forget to prioritize ourselves, our mental well-being. Again, this is Yana Alfaro from 2nd edition.
The NAIT Ooks are celebrating a big birthday. This is the 60th year NAIT Athletics has been part of the ACAC.
Yes, and the student-athlete life has definitely evolved over the decades. I had the chance to sit down with the NAIT Athletics Director, Jordan Ritchie, to talk about the changes and growth we've seen over the last 60 years. Here's what I learned. Are you wanting to see any change in the NAIT Athletics Department now that you've reached 60 years?
It's very exciting being in our 60th year, right? So now it's like, what has to happen next? Some of the things we're looking at within NAIT Athletics is aging facilities. Our facilities they're 60 years old themselves, right? So we have to look at future growth and where we're going.
How has the NAIT Athletics kept up with changes in the ACAC?
Well, I think we've done a good job of being a founding and proud ACAC member, and one that we are now currently in all ACAC sports.
Has recruiting gotten more competitive over the years?
Recruiting is at the highest level it's been in the ACAC. There are we have several sports, and right now with technology going on right now, before it used to be a visit, now coaches can watch a video online, on social media.
Have you seen a change in stress for student athlete with curriculum changes?
The demand on student athletes now is higher than it ever was before. Student athletes now have to work, they have to do other obligations, they have academics, their program load is higher than it ever was before. They just lead a fuller life than probably was before.
How has athletic therapy made healthcare more accessible for our student athletes here at NAIT?
The advances in medicine and how to treat the student athlete, what's required for nutrition, to sleep, to athletic therapy, to rest recovery, all this is in play right now, and we have a good athletic therapist head athletic therapist who has a lot of support as well too.
How is NAIT Athletics utilizing social media differently than it did before?
Yeah, social media is big, especially with institutions in the ACAC. We see media days now, all institutions have these media days. Student athletes want to see themselves on Instagram and all on social media. They just want to do that. So it's a very important part for us. We actually have a position dedicated to that, to provide the student athlete the best experience possible.
Thank you so much, Jordan, for taking the time to meet with me and talking about kind of the growth and the evolution of the NAIT Athletics. And that's been Jordan Ritchie. Can't believe it's been 60 years of NAIT Athletics. This is just some of the hardware they've collected in the last 60 years. And the Ooks are hopeful that in 60 years from now, they'll have found continued success and maybe just add another trophy case.
Now we're going to get into the festive spirit with a look at some unique movie choices for the holidays.
But first, we head into the kitchen with Jasmine Saksak cooking up a traditional Filipino dish.
Hello, I am your today's host. I'm Jasmine Saksak with Second Edition. And you know, Christmas is coming up and I can't wait for all the delicious food. But you know what I can't wait for? Lumpia. Lumpia is my favorite, so I'm going to be teaching you how to make lumpia for today's show. Let's get cooking.
The first step into making a lumpia is doing our filling first. We'll start by mincing all our vegetables. The ingredients will be mixed into a bowl along with the ground pork. Once all is minced, the wet ingredients will also be added into our bowl. However, you have to keep in mind for the second egg, only add the egg yolk for now, then save the egg whites for later. We'll be using this as a glue to seal our wrapper. The filling can be done manually or using a hand mixer. Now we start folding our lumpia using a spring roll wrapper. I prefer folding it into a long wrapper, then cut it in half after. Like I said earlier, we use the egg whites we saved to seal the wrapper.
And to make it even better, you can also add sweet chili sauce just to make it more flavorful or to your liking. And yeah, that is how you make lumpia. This is Jasmine Saksak with Second Edition. Thank you for watching.
Wood's all done. How's it going down there? Oh. Yeah, just finished. Yeah, gonna watch a movie. Oh man, this looks fantastic. Yeah, let's watch Die Hard, right in the Christmas spirit. No, dude, we're not watching Die Hard, okay? That's not a Christmas movie. We've been over this, all right? We're gonna watch The Grinch. We've been over this every year. Die Hard is a Christmas movie. It's a Christmas movie! Geez, that is a bit of an overreaction. I know some people are pretty passionate about what is or is not considered a holiday classic. Whatever side you land on is perfectly cool with me, but I'm gonna give you guys a few of my top unorthodox holiday movies to add to your watch list and really get you ready to hunker down this winter season. For action movies that are centered around the holidays, obviously we have the classic Die Hard. Its sequel, Die Hard 2, not too far behind, but it's a little less on the nose with the themes. Lethal Weapon 1, Briggs does a sting in a Christmas tree parking lot. Good enough for me. If you're more of a superhero fan, however, definitely check out Iron Man 3 if you haven't already. Takes place during the holidays, but cannot recommend Batman Returns enough just in general, but around this time of year, it is the absolute standard when it comes to a Christmas action movie. We get into my personal favorite genre of movie, horror. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, and that's totally cool with me, I get it. So we're gonna start off nice and light with Gremlins 1 and Ghostbusters 2. Two PG films centered around the holidays that perfectly blend horror and holiday that are fun for the whole family. Definitely check these out if you haven't already. If you want stuff a little more violent, a little more cheesy, definitely check out Silent Night, Deadly Night 1 and 2 alongside Santa's Sleigh and Jack Frost. These movies up the gore, up the violence, up the terrible / amazing one-liners, and are just a great time all around with some friends. Now, my last suggestion is Terrifier 3. If you are like me and a huge fan of the genre, definitely check it out. But if you're not, you're kind of squeamish, maybe skip this one. Viewer discretion is advised. 2 people left during my screening, so do with that what you will. But if you like the genre, really like the genre, definitely check it out. Thank you all so much for watching this list of mine. Stay warm this winter. Have a happy holidays. With Second Edition, I'm Austin Steinhauer.
I'll definitely be adding some of those movies to my watch list this year. But is Die Hard really a Christmas movie?
Well, I think so, but maybe we'll leave that up to the viewers at home.
Good call. Thanks so much for watching Second Edition.
Yep, we'll be back next week for our final show of the season. Have a good night.